Hi everyone, this is your girl Nikita, and welcome to the Perfectly Powerful You podcast. Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Perfectly Powerful You podcast. I'm your host Nikita, and I trust, hope, and expect that you all are having an amazing day. May it be even better than the day you were having yesterday, and may it continue to be even greater the longer you are living, breathing, and experiencing the vibrant life that you are deserving of. I am having an amazing day. It's been an abundant day full of emotions galore. It's amazing when one is actually attuned, even more consciously aware of said emotions, that the amount that come up is really humbling, because it reminds me about the fact that our cup runneth over when it comes to the emotional depth that we are all able to experience, that we are all capable of, and also able to control. Now, today I would love to mix the myriad of emotions that I have been thinking about experiencing, coupled with the book I've been listening to today, which has had me very, very inspired to do this podcast, and it talks all about our genius zone. Now, the genius zone came from the book, the literally the Genius Zone by Gay Hendricks. And as I've been listening to this today, I was thinking a little bit more about being even more attuned with the high vibrancy, high frequency emotions and feelings and thoughts that we are, one, so deserving of, two, absolutely capable of thinking and feeling on a regular basis, and three, how we're able to use this to really transform our life. Because here on the Perfectly Powerful You podcast, I am all about transformation, all about living our best life, living a life that we actually love, knowing that we are only here for a short amount of time in the grand scheme of things. So why not have the very best life that we would love to live? And part of that honestly comes with our perspective. It comes with being able to be even more in tune with our emotions. It becomes even more in tune with said actions we take from the emotions and thoughts that we are thinking and feeling. And in order to really transcend a lot of the barriers that we put up in front of us, because honestly, everything that we are thinking and feeling is directly attributed to the actions we take or do not take. And this also has a lot to do with what we feel we're deserving of, what we feel like we would love to see in this life, etc., etc. Our thoughts and our emotions are so important for transformation, for living a life that we would love living. And so, as I've been listening to this book today, the genius zone came up, and living even more into our genius moments. So, if this sounds really excellent to you, I would love to deep dive right head first into the wealth of knowledge that Gay Hendricks has graciously spent years and years writing and researching and experimenting with his own life, to bring this book to us. And I would love to be able to attribute it, and connect it with a lot of my own experience, a lot of my own wealth of knowledge, and also just being able to help you live your best life in every way that you can. The genius moment, as Gay Hendricks describes, is an opening, an invitation to bring forth your highest potential. And we get hundreds of these every single day. Now, living in our genius zone is doing what we love. We are deeply satisfied. We have the sense of calm wonder. There is joy, there is love, there is vibrancy, and there is just this really palpable feeling of, man, I love my life. And the genius zone is the zone that you are in when you are your most creative. It is basically the opposite of when you're in fight or flight, which in our, well, dominant society, oftentimes people aren't aware of it, but we are in fight or flight because a lot of our stimuli in our environment can often, and of course, our thinking about it when we're not taught about it, can be very stressful. It can be very overstimulating. It can be just aggravating and worrisome and anxiety making. So many of the things in our environment can contribute and attribute to a lot of the anxiety, fear, worry, and doubt that people feel. So, being in our genius zone is coming back to consciousness and self awareness and being able to realize that, again, nothing in our environment, unless we allow it, if we are not consciously aware of it, will provoke these feelings of fear, doubt, worry, anxiety, self criticism. This is natural. This will happen. But with the tool of noticing what we're noticing and also a vast amount of other knowledge, breathing, being able to change our mental paradigms, all that great stuff, we're able to transform what we thought was a barrier, i.e., our feelings, our thoughts, our environment, and turn it into an opening, an invitation, a way for us to see what we thought was a barrier and make it out to be a gift, and be able to either redirect our thoughts, redirect our feelings, redirect our actions in service of our dream, in service of living the life that we would actually love living. Now, this also brings forth our spark in us. So, continuing on with the genius zone, when I mentioned before that it's the opposite of our fight or flight, this means that the genius zone is our parasympathetic nervous system. It is when we are breathing calmly. It is when our body says it is actually safe to digest our food, hence rest and digest. It is safe to rest. It is safe to be joyful. It is safe to be loved. It is safe to be open and accepting and curious. The rest and digest is opposite to our fight flight, which is part of our sympathetic nervous system. Now, opposite does not mean good or bad. Our sympathetic nervous system, our fight or flight, is very important for our body. Evolutionarily speaking, if we were to encounter a bear, the fight or flight system in our body, this amazing pre-programmed system of we need to get the heck out of here, we need to freeze, or we need to fight all the whatever circumstances we are facing. And this mechanism, when we are not consciously aware of it, is very, very helpful, because if there's something in front of us, we need to execute one of these measures in order to protect our safety, to protect us. Often fear is involved because there is almost like a life or death situation. And this is when adrenaline and cortisol are at their highest. And over time and compounded, not fantastic for our body. It is actually why many people experience heart problems or cancer or any sort of depression or anxiety attacks. These are all contributed to being constantly stimulated, constantly in our fight or flight, without actually being consciously aware of what we're doing. In this day and age, it is very common that our work environment, our home life, our friendships, our relationships, our time and money, freedom, everything, our entire environment can be very overstimulating. And when we are not aware of what's actually happening, when we're breathing slowly, when we're not breathing at all, when we're clenching our tummy or anything like that. This could be distinct signs that we are in fight or flight. And when we are in fight or flight, it is not a good time to be creative. And oftentimes our thoughts when we are in fight or flight are feelings, or rather thoughts of not enoughness, thoughts of I need to get out of here, thoughts of anger, anything. And oftentimes there are things that we, one, cannot control, and two, cannot change. But because many of our thoughts, and this is from Joe Dispenza, many of our thoughts are repeats. He said over 50% of our thoughts are actually, no, 80%, pardon me, 80% of our thoughts are repeats. And this is not a bad thing either. It is just, again, self-awareness that our brain is actually very, very smart. Our brain would love for us to be the most efficient it can be at any given time. And so when we're able to basically program things in our brain's like, no problem. You told me once, you told me twice, you told me 3 times, locked and loaded, ready to go. I'm going to keep sending these signals, sending these thoughts, sending these feelings to you in order to make your life even easier. You focus on doing something else. I'll focus on what you told me and taught me way before whenever you learned this. And now it is deeply ingrained into the software of our body. I'm going to continue to repeat all these things. You go handle what you need to, et cetera, et cetera. Now things are great. The only downside, and I'll say we'll put downside as in like, it might not be best when many of the thoughts that we're thinking on repeat are thoughts of lack, scarcity, density, not enoughness. However, the flip side of this is we have total control over this once we are aware of it. And many of the times when we are thinking certain thoughts, we again can't change things until we are aware of them. So when we're aware that the genius zone is the opposite of the fight or flight. And we know that fight or flight often contributes and is correlated to thoughts of this is not safe, I am not okay, I need to fight this person, etc., etc. Now, the next question is, how do we live into our genius zone even more? Great question. I'm glad you asked. So, living in our genius zone is very, very easy. It means replacing all of our negative thoughts with positive ones. Sounds easy, right? Yeah. Well, okay. We'll say it's very simple. We transform our negative thoughts and we transform them into positive thoughts. Super simple. Easy, I'm going to say it can be easy. It also takes practice. It also takes repetition. It also takes focus and dedication. Much of transformation requires all of these things. And it's amazing because once you get really good at focusing, as soon as something becomes worthwhile for you, your willpower, and check out my video on the power of our will in order to really know how to focus even more on committing to whatever goal or dream you would love to focus on. However, for this video, our will allows us to focus on being able to transform our negative thoughts into even more positive ones. And this is really beneficial for us, knowing that having these positive thoughts, having these inspired ideas means that we are in our genius zone. We are in our rest and digest. We are living at a high vibrancy, high frequency state. And this means that we are genuinely feeling in our body less anxiety, more abundance, less scarcity, more abundance, less fear, more courage, less sad, more happy. And wouldn't you love that? And wouldn't you love to know that this is actually very possible for you, that you are actually very deserving of this? And not only are you able to do it for yourself, you're able to do it, and it can take a very small amount of time should you be even more focused, even more dedicated to, one, noticing what you are noticing, i.e. when you're paying attention to your body and you're feeling maybe constriction in your belly, or maybe a tightness in your chest, or maybe your brow is furrowing, or maybe headaches, or any sort of these feelings that your body is telling you because it's giving you every signal it can to let you know that whatever you're thinking is translating into your body. So Noticing what we are noticing starts with our body and also our mind, because when we're able to feel and take notice of, okay, I'm feeling a little bit of constriction in my belly or my chest. Okay, what was I just thinking? And you can just take a moment and pause. Take a big, deep breath of self-compassion and self-love and get curious. Curiosity is really important here because curiosity allows us to be like, oh, what was I just thinking? Because I've been noticing this feeling of constriction in my belly or my chest, or maybe furrowing of my brows. And Nikita told me, and same with some other fancy research books, have told me that when I'm feeling these forms of constriction, it means that there's probably constriction in my mind, constriction in my frequency. Okay, amazing. One, noticing what we're noticing, check. Two, self-compassion. We have given ourselves praise for just saying, okay, now I'm aware, and now I'm going to give myself a head pat, go into little fireworks, whatever it feels like, whatever feels good for you. Just praise yourself, because you're actually choosing to have even more self-compassion over self-criticism. And this, again, helps naturally raise your vibration, which will also, one, again, like Pavlov's dog, it's going to train you to be more self-compassionate. It's going to train you to, whenever you notice what you're noticing, have this spark of creativity, spark of, oh my goodness, I did a good thing. And it's going to train your body to notice even more, because where you put your attention is what the universe reads as your intention. So if your attention is focused on, okay, I'm noticing some constriction, noticing what thoughts I'm thinking, taking a deep breath of self-compassion, and what can I think instead that will help me become in my genius zone a little more, become even more in my inspired creative thought, become even more my vision self, which is happier, who is happier rather, who is living a more vibrant life, who is in the frequency of gratitude even more and even more and even more. And again, this takes practice. Again, this takes focus, dedication, and just the desire to do it. But when you know that by changing your thoughts, transmuting energy from negative energy to positive energy, you are freeing up so much space in your body to rest, to digest, to heal. And that's an important one too. I have this in a separate video as well, that just the very fact that we are choosing to notice what we are noticing, that we are transforming our energy from scarcity, lack, density, fear, constriction into abundance, love, joy, gratitude, self-compassion, plenitude. This frees up space of negativity, kind of like if you're clogging your arteries with things, or something's being clogged inside your drain. When you're flushing all that out, things flow so much better. You allow even more of it to come, because you're clearing away the negative to bring forth the positive, and you're allowing this. So yes, there's a little bit of focus, dedication, and work, even more so in the beginning, because if this is a new practice for you, just like when you're going to be clearing out your drains, it's not going to be a one and done. It's going to be little by little by little, especially if they've been clogged for a while. You might need to run it through a few times in order to let everything flow even more smoothly. But once you've done the hard, dirty work, we'll call that in the beginning, man, everything is so much easier later on. And wouldn't you love to know that if you start now, and I literally mean right now, so if you want to take a deep breath with me, and just let it out, and take another deep breath with me of love, self-compassion, and consciously tell yourself, I'm consciously breathing in love and self-compassion. I'm breathing out stress and constriction. And if you would love, think about it, envision it. What does it feel like to breathe in love and compassion? Does it have a color? Does it have a smell? Does it feel some way in your body? And what does it feel like to release maybe the constriction or negativity or self-criticism? Does it have a feeling? Does it have a color? Does it have a smell? Being able to sensorize it really, really tells your body, okay, something's happening here. We're breathing in this goodness, this high vibrancy energy, this breath of life giving energy. And what are we doing? We're breathing out everything that does not serve. And we can keep doing this as a practice. I highly, highly recommend. Breathing is free. Breathing is our number one resource. Breathing will always be here for you. And if you are willing, if you are dedicated, focused, and even more passionate about one, breathing, two, positively thinking, and three, just freeing up a lot of space in your body for healing in general and being even more in your genius zone, you're already well on your way to being able to transform your life in even greater ways and even greater possibilities for your life that you never thought possible. I would love to make a commitment with you right here, right now. Should you love to join me in this endeavor, this experiment, this fun way of thinking in order to live the life you would really, really love? And as always, it starts with you. So I insert your name here. For myself, it's I, Nikita Loren McCullough. I commit to ending my negative thinking in order to free my creative liberty. Now, I borrowed this one from Gay Hendricks because it really stuck with me, because he also proposed, write it down a couple times, write it down in big, bold letters, and see how you feel when you write this down. How committed are you really to freeing yourself of negative thoughts, to committing to thinking more positive thoughts, and to really, really acknowledge the fact that once you truly feel this feeling of commitment in your body, of freeing yourself from negative thoughts, increasing the amount of positive thoughts you have, knowing that it contributes to an even greater life. And just notice, get curious. Does it feel good? Do you feel inspired? Do you feel motivated? Or do you feel like, meh, not really? Whatever it is, make it okay. But if there's a part of you, even a small part, that you would love to grow even more, that says, yes, I am deserving of this. Yes, I know it is possible. Yes, I would love to have even more positive thoughts in my life. I would love for you to grow that even more, because this is something that is going to truly, truly help you live the life that you are deserving of, living the life that you would absolutely love, where you wake up every day inspired, vibrant, energetic, loving, in even more gratitude, in prosperity, all of this and more. And this is part of being in your genius zone, because again, being in your genius zone means you are inspired, means you are creative, and it means that you can take action from a place of inspired insight. And this inspired insight, as he calls his genius zone, it's also what I love to call when you're in your intuitive zone, when you're connected to that part of you that is connected to absolutely everything. And that is a beautiful moment to be in, because you're not focused on, I need to get this deadline done, or what did this person say about me? Or am I going to be okay? What if I don't have enough money at the end of the month? Oh man, I'd really love to have enough free time, but I got to work. It's not that. It's actually, man, I'm so happy that I have freedom and willpower to be able to create and shape the life that I would love. I'm so grateful that I have my friends and family beside me, supporting me in all of my endeavors. I am very thankful that I'm able to express myself exactly the way I want. Man, I'm just so grateful to be alive. I wonder what it would look like to spend a late night and see the stars one last time. Anything. And it means that you're able to transform a lot of these thoughts that produce and perpetuate anxiety and fear in service of ones that produce gratitude, joy, and happiness. So committing to something gets you started, but Gay Hendricks says recommitting to something gets you there. And the power of recommitting to something is also being in the power of being in your genius zone more and more and more. And what I found for myself for recommitment is a lot of giving up self-criticism for self-compassion. And I realized that up until now, I definitely held myself with the standard of perfection. The funny thing is, perfectly powerfully you. However, the funny thing is about it is that we are perfectly powerful. And it doesn't mean that we have to be perfect all the time. That there is an essence of us that is absolutely perfect. And there's an essence of us that is divine in every aspect. And the human part of us is allowed to fail. The human part of us is allowed to have negative thoughts. The human part of us is allowed to commit to something and fall off track. That's really the part of the joy of life. Knowing that, doesn't it feel really, really, really good when you know that you committed to something and you fell off track and you fell off track again and you got back on the horse and you fell off track again. And maybe at one point in time you fell off track so much, it's been 11 years. And then you realized, man, I could just get back on track, can't I? And then you realize how much worry, how much anxiety, how much fear, doubt, and guilt that you chose to just release because you chose to commit to positive thinking. You just chose to give up worrying about what other people were thinking. You chose to give up worrying about whatever it is you're worrying about in service of self-compassion, self-love, with just gratitude for the moment. Isn't it wonderful knowing that you had all of those negative thoughts, those scarcity thinking thoughts, and then you chose, because it is your choice, to just focus on and perpetuate love, self-compassion, joy, gratitude. And I say this in an almost astonishing way because truly, when I have these thoughts, and I have them a lot, and they're the same thoughts, they just land differently. When there are moments when I'm aware that I was absolutely not in my genius zone, I was thinking a lot of thoughts of, when is my next paycheck going to come? Am I going to be able to afford this? I can't do this because I have to commit to this. I am looking at my health and I'm feeling low energy. I realized all of this, and it happens. And there was a part of me up until now that had a lot of self-criticism for not being perfectly aligned with my vision, for not being perfectly aligned with positive thinking, with not being perfectly aligned with my genius zone. And the thing is, that's okay, because now that I'm aware, even more aware rather, and feel free to take this on yourself, now that I'm more aware, again, even more aware of the fact that we can just let it go. This is a brand new moment every single time you think about it. Time really is a construct. You can think right now, it's a brand new day. And shablamo, right inside your head, right inside your body, it can feel like a brand new day. And you can say you can start tomorrow, well within your right to start tomorrow. But what if you could say, I commit right now, because it's a brand new moment and I may not see tomorrow, but I do have right now to truly commit and then recommit as many times as you need to positive thinking, to living my best life, to really knowing that nothing outside of me can change my thoughts unless I allow it. And this is really living in your genius zone. It's when you realize through conscious living, noticing what you're noticing, that you can truly be whoever you want to be, think however you want to think, and take actions in service of how you would love to think and would love to feel in order to live the life that you would love living. And that's your choice. And it's very powerful. It's very liberating. And when I chose to give up and gave up, even more so, each and every single time I remember negative thinking, self-criticizing thinking, these feelings of and thoughts of scarcity, lack, density, for joy, love, gratitude, abundance, prosperity, aliveness, vibrancy, energy, prosperity, because these are all choices. And if you would love to live into your genius zone even more, I recommend these 3 things just to get you started that were mentioned throughout the video. 1, slow down. Notice what you're noticing. 2, take a deep breath of love, self-compassion, and joy, just for the very fact that you noticed what you were noticing. And 3, give yourself praise, because praise reminds your body and reminds yourself that you did something good, that you made a choice to change. And I'm going to add a 4th one just for shits and giggles. Choose and ask yourself a question. What can I replace this thought with that would lead me to have an even greater experience right now? Phrase it in whatever way that feels good for you. It could be, what thought can I think to feel even happier? What step can I take to move me in the direction of my dream? Whatever works for you will be the perfect and inspired action for you. Listen intuitively for yourself and what your body is telling you for wherever you are at in life, whatever you're thinking right now in your life, because living in your genius zone, knowing we get hundreds of genius moments every single day, if we're aware of them, we can utilize them. And that means being intuitive by slowing down, noticing what you're noticing, taking a deep, big breath of life, and just praising yourself gets you there, allows you to see the moment that was always there for you, and allows you to be even more present, not only with yourself, but your next moment of action. And really, really, truly, truly be mindful about what you're doing in life and know that you are the highest, most authentic authority in your life. And being able to know the power that is within you, being able to harness this power that's within you, knowing that no one else can change your thoughts, no one else can change your feelings, no one else can change your actions, but you can. And by using these tools, it transforms everything in your life, wherever you are, because no matter where you go, there you are. Thank you all for joining me today, because it truly has been a pleasure to be here with you. It is amazing just to be alive. It's amazing knowing that we can transform ourselves every single moment we choose to check in with ourselves. And I really love being on this journey with all of you, because we're all here for a very blip in time. And yet there's almost 8 billion of us, beautiful, unique beings that are experiencing life right now and transforming our life, not only for us, but every action we do is transforming all of us. And knowing that we're doing this together, this high vibrancy, high frequency, positive, radiant, even greater experience, knowing that not only is it transforming our life, but it's transforming the lives of people around us, it really is a blessing. to just be on this journey and being able to share it with people who resonate with this. So thank you very much for being who you are, for being where you are at in life, and just taking really powerful steps in the direction of living your best life, because you guys are the example. And every time you take a step that serves you, that serves your greater good, you're transforming so many more lives than you could ever think about. So thank you again for just being here with me, but also doing exactly what you need to do to live your best life. I trust, hope, and expect that you all are going to have the most amazing day. Before I end this video, I would also love to offer up that I am starting a dream building course. I am going to be hosting a vision workshop. I'm going to have the details of the locale, of the time, of all the invitations rather, to inspire you to be a part of living your best life even more so. So if this sounds absolutely dandy to you, just stay tuned to the next few videos. I'll probably have a video out specifically highlighting all of the details of the in-house workshop that I'm doing in my hometown. If you would love to make it out here, I would love that. If not, I'm also going to be hosting a vision workshop via Zoom for all of my international and or friends from other places in Canada that would love to be a part of that. And until then, I love you all so much. I hope you have an amazing day, and may you all have a blessed day until I talk to you again. Bye. Thank you all for joining me today, because it's my absolute pleasure to be here with you. I'd love to hear your thoughts about today's content and any inspirational words of wisdom you'd love to share. I'd also love if you would leave a 5-star review on whatever platform it is you're listening to this on, because it helps in creating even more awesome content. May your day be filled with only love and light, and I look forward to talking with you all real soon.